The sky over Orlando, Florida had been clear just hours before, a typical sunny day in the Sunshine State, but nature, as it often does, had other plans. As dusk began to settle, the atmosphere shifted. The once blue canvas transformed, morphing into a bruised purple on that fateful evening. It was a color that spoke of impending power, a silent warning of the storm to come. Thunder shook the houses, not with a friendly rumble, but a deep guttural growl from the clouds. It vibrated through the foundations, a primal sound that resonated in the chests of everyone who heard it. The air itself seemed to crackle with anticipation. Rain fell, not in gentle drops, but in solid, unforgiving sheets, blurring the world into a watercolor of grays and blacks. The streets became rivers, the lawns turned into miniature lakes. Visibility dropped to near zero. 10-year-old Jason Paget, a curious and adventurous boy, watched the storm unfold from his living room window. He was captivated by the raw energy on display. Fear and fascination mixed in his eyes, a potent cocktail of emotions that held him transfixed. He knew he should be scared, but the spectacle was too alluring to turn away from. Lightning tore the sky open, a jagged, incandescent wound in the darkness. It illuminated the landscape with an eerie, fleeting brilliance. Each flash illuminated everything in a ghostly white, turning familiar houses and trees into stark, almost alien shapes. The world was reduced to a series of fleeting, high-contrast images. Each strike was followed by a deafening crack of thunder, a sonic boom that rattled the windows and shook the very air. The delay between the flash and the bang was shrinking, a sign that the storm was drawing closer. Jason's mother, sensing the escalating danger, called him away from the window, urging him to come inside and away from the glass. But he hesitated, drawn by an irresistible force. Storms were common in Florida, a regular occurrence during the summer months. They were part of life, almost mundane. But this one felt different, charged, almost searching, as if the storm itself had a purpose. There was an intensity to it that he had never experienced before. He saw a cushion from their patio furniture about to blow away, tumbling across the yard like a runaway kite, and against his mother's explicit warnings, driven by a sudden impulse, he darted outside into the raging storm. The air was thick, electric, heavy with moisture and smelling sharply of ozone, that peculiar scent that always precedes a lightning strike. He grabbed the cushion, struggling against the fierce wind that threatened to rip it from his grasp. The rain plastered his hair to his forehead and the wind stung his skin. Suddenly, with a deafening roar, a bolt of lightning struck a towering oak tree just feet away from where he stood. The force of the blast, the sheer energy unleashed, threw him backward as if he were a rag doll. A blinding white light seared his vision, an all-consuming brightness that blotted out everything else. For a moment there was nothing, a void, an absence of all sensation. No sound, no sight, no feeling, just emptiness, a silent darkness that stretched on forever. He was adrift in a sea of nothingness. Then, with a jarring suddenness, the world rushed back, flooding his senses. Deafening rain pounded against the earth, a relentless drumming that echoed in his ears. The acrid smell of burning wood filled the air, a testament to the tree's violent encounter with the lightning. He could hear his mother's distant scream, a sound of pure terror and desperation. Jason lay on the wet grass, soaked to the bone and shivering, disoriented and confused. His body was tingling with a strange energy, a residual charge from the lightning strike, and there was a persistent, high-pitched buzzing in his skull. In that instant, the ordinary world, the world he had always known, shattered into a million pieces, like glass struck by a hammer. And something extraordinary, something beyond comprehension, began to stir and wake inside him, a hidden potential unleashed by the storm. Before the storm, the world was predictable, a gentle rhythm of everyday life. The air hung heavy with anticipation, a quiet prelude to the chaos that was about to unfold. Jason Paget was, by all accounts, an ordinary boy, indistinguishable from the crowd. He blended in unnoticed, living a life of simple pleasures and uncomplicated routines. School, however, was a constant struggle, a daily uphill battle against concepts that seemed deliberately designed to elude him. He felt lost in a sea of information, unable to grasp the fundamental principles that his classmates seemed to understand effortlessly. Math, in particular, felt like a secret code, an intricate language of symbols and equations that he simply couldn't crack, no matter how hard he tried. It was a source of constant frustration and a barrier to his academic success. His report cards, those dreaded summaries of his academic performance, were consistently filled with C's, a testament to his mediocre efforts and lack of understanding. And even worse, D's, those stinging reminders of his failures, serving as a constant source of disappointment for both him and his parents. He found solace and comfort in drawing, a world where he could express himself freely, without the constraints of logic or the pressure of expectations. He spent hours sketching his dog, capturing its playful spirit and unwavering loyalty on paper. Leaves, with their intricate veins and delicate textures, sneakers, worn and scuffed from countless adventures. Art was his language, the medium through which he communicated his thoughts, his feelings, and his observations of the world around him. It was his escape from the confusion and frustration of school, a sanctuary where he could be himself, without judgment or criticism. His thoughts were simple, uncomplicated by grand ambitions or complex philosophical questions. Dinner with his family, hanging out with friends, sharing laughter and stories, and losing himself in the immersive worlds of video games. He never imagined, not even in his wildest dreams, that his mind was capable of so much more, that hidden within him lay untapped potential waiting to be unleashed. Jason was content with his life, finding joy in the simple things and accepting his limitations without question. He was living in primary colors, a world of basic emotions and straightforward experiences, untouched by the complexities of the adult world. He was carefree, never questioning his limits or pushing the boundaries of his understanding. He was a blank canvas, waiting to be filled with experiences, knowledge, and perspectives that would forever alter his perception of reality. He was happy in his simplicity, unaware of the extraordinary journey that lay ahead. No one, least of all Jason himself, could have predicted the profound impact that a single fateful event would have on his life. No one could have predicted what the storm would awaken within him, the dormant abilities that would suddenly surge to the surface. The boy who ran into the rain, seeking shelter from the downpour, was not the same boy who would return, forever changed by the events that were about to unfold. Math, once a mystery, art, a comfort. That night, under the cloak of a stormy evening, everything would change, irrevocably altering the course of Jason's life. The change wasn't immediate, not a switch flipped in an instant, but it was profound. It was a gradual unfolding, like a flower slowly blooming under an unseen sun. The initial days were a blur, a period of disorientation and subtle shifts in perception. In the days after the lightning strike, time seemed to warp and bend around him. Each sunrise brought a new layer of understanding, a deeper connection to the underlying fabric of reality. Jason saw the world differently. The mundane became extraordinary. The commonplace revealed hidden depths. It was as if a veil had been lifted, granting him access to a realm of knowledge previously locked away. Patterns emerged everywhere, not just visible patterns, but underlying structures, the invisible architecture of the universe. Water droplets became perfect spheres, obeying laws of physics he now intuitively understood, each one a miniature cosmos reflecting the grand design. Tree branches fractals, repeating patterns echoing throughout nature, a symphony of mathematical precision. His old sketches, once simple representations of the world, gave way to intricate geometric diagrams, complex equations rendered in ink, a visual language only he could fully decipher. He drew circles made of triangles, squares within squares, snowflakes, each one a unique expression of mathematical beauty, spirals, complex, beautiful forms, echoing the patterns of galaxies and the DNA within our cells. Numbers, once confusing, now fascinated him, revealing their hidden order and profound significance. He filled pages with equations, scribbling furiously, trying to capture the torrent of information flooding his mind. And symbols he'd never learned, a language of the universe unfolding before his very eyes. He spoke of quantum mechanics, of particles existing in multiple states, and space-time, ideas he'd never studied, yet now understood with an unnerving clarity. His parents watched, stunned by his sudden genius, struggling to comprehend the transformation their son had undergone. The world became a living math equation, a complex tapestry woven with numbers and formulas, overwhelming and isolating, a burden of knowledge too heavy for one person to bear. Simple actions became complex analyses, each movement, each decision, dissected and scrutinized through the lens of his newfound understanding. He felt alone, unable to explain the new reality in his mind, trapped between two worlds, belonging to neither. The ordinary boy was gone, replaced by someone different. In his place was a stranger with a mind awakened by lightning, a mind both brilliant and burdened. Jason grappled with a gift he never asked for, a destiny thrust upon him by a force he couldn't comprehend, forever changed by the flash of a new mind. Jason's parents took him to doctors, desperate for answers. Physically, he seemed fine, but his new vision of the world baffled everyone. He described light as particles, space as a grid, drawing shapes in the air. Doctors suspected trauma or psychological issues, running endless tests. Neurologists were intrigued. Jason discussed advanced math with no training. Brain scans showed unusual activity in areas linked to math and spatial reasoning. Some doctors doubted, others saw a key to the brain's hidden potential. Theories clashed. Was this a triggered condition or a new phenomenon? The lightning had rewired his brain, unlocking abilities science couldn't explain. Jason's case forced medicine to confront the mysteries of the mind. Experts began calling Jason's condition acquired savant syndrome. Unlike congenital savants, acquired savants develop abilities after trauma. The leading theory, the brain rewires itself after injury, unlocking dormant skills. In Jason's case, the lightning may have supercharged areas tied to math and perception. This comes at a cost: social struggles, obsessive tendencies. The brain isn't creating new knowledge, but accessing it differently. Jason's story became a textbook case, challenging our ideas of intelligence. Genius, it seems, might be a matter of access, not just effort. Jason now saw the world as a tapestry of geometry and order. Puddles became perfect spheres, TV screens a grid of colored pixels. His art transformed. Sketches became intricate maps of space-time and pi. He tried to share his vision, but few understood. His drawings became his translator, mesmerizing those who saw them. Through art, he offered a glimpse into his mathematical world. Jason was no longer just a boy who drew. He mapped reality's hidden dimensions. His gift was both a bridge and a barrier. Jason's transformation sparked wild theories beyond science. Some speculated the lightning altered his brainwaves, tuning his mind to new frequencies. Others saw it as a spiritual awakening, a message from beyond. These ideas, unproven but compelling, reflected humanity's search for meaning in the inexplicable. Whether science or something more, Jason's new vision reminded us how little we truly understand. Genius came with a price. Jason's mind, now attuned to mathematical perfection, became sensitive to chaos and imperfection. OCD and anxiety crept in. Social life became difficult. He withdrew, overwhelmed by patterns only he could see. The pressure to prove his gift was immense. Art became his outlet, a way to connect and communicate. Over time, he sought help, learned to manage his new reality. He embraced his role as an artist, using his drawings to bridge the gap. The weight of his gift never vanished, but he learned to carry it. Jason's struggle gave his life new meaning and focus. Jason Padgett's story is a testament to the brain's mysterious potential. His journey suggests genius may lie dormant in us all, waiting to be unlocked. Acquired savant syndrome challenges our ideas of intelligence and learning. The lightning didn't teach him physics. It removed the barriers to seeing it. His transformation pushes science to confront the unknown. Jason's experience hints at a deeper connection between mind and universe. His story is a beacon of hope, showing that even chaos can spark beauty. Sometimes a flash of lightning reveals the infinite within us.